Hello and welcome back to Bighorn Woodworks. Today I'll be working on part 2 of this segmented vessel build. You'll see how I cut and shape it into its final dimensions. You'll also get to see how I made a potentially painful mistake. If you missed part 1, make sure to check out how things got started.
It's freezing. Oh my god. Whew. It's so cold here. So I went out to the shop, outdoor shop, the cold shop, and cut the corners off of that so that I can now take and get my lid in there. Yeah, I just can put them away. Start turning this down. I'm still freezing. Oh my god.
I made this contraption so I can sand the rings flat without getting dust all over my shop. The dust collector connects to the top and easily keeps the mess under control. The first ring is much more important to take your time and get it centered. The rest of the rings line themselves up using the segment angles, but the solid base has no such reference points.
See my line? Where am I glue at?
Pinched between the head and tail of the lathe, I quickly line up the ring to the base and use some gentle persuasion before applying more pressure. One of these days, I'm actually going to get around to building a segmenting clamp.
The other thing I want to make sure that I'm careful of when putting these rings together, move this over here, is I want to make sure that I don't line up the seams. I want this to sit with this over here because I want that offset. And one of the whole reasons why I want to do this is so that I get this nice look of this segmentation and it doesn't look like it's all blurring into just one piece. So, and I want to make sure that I'm extra careful that I get those lined up just right. And see, this is off. I want this right in the middle. Take my pencil, draw these lines so that I know where the glue goes. And I will also take and draw an indexing mark so that I know that I'm lining up. Do one there, do one here, and do a third one right here. Alright, where to begin? So, it's been a couple days since I've been able to work on the bowl. One, my camera died. Actually, my camera battery died. I had to get a new battery for the camera. and I wanted to wait until the glue on the whole thing was set up. Now, while my battery died, I ended up finishing up the rest of the glue up. So I have all of the different rings put in place. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then these tiny Purple Heart runs are 9 and 10 on the feature ring. So 10 rings, this is not part of it. This is a block that's held onto my tailstock. I'll actually keep that in place while I shape the outside of the vessel. And once the outside is shaped, I'll go ahead and work on the inside, but I'll keep this in place until at least most of the profile here is done.
At this point, I wasn't planning on closing off the top. I wanted it to narrow at the top, but it didn't have the look I had expected. The 2 ring sections I added were a last-minute decision, but I really love the way it completed the piece. Didn't connect my dust hood for these rings. Even though I had the collection hose in close proximity, I quickly remembered why I built the cardboard contraption. After letting the glue dry overnight, I thought it would be easier to turn the upper section by itself before adding it to the main body. This seemed to work very well as I was able to flip it back and forth to contour the top and shape the bottom so it would seat to the rest of the vessel. Before I attach the top section, I want to do as much as I can to the final shaping. In a few seconds, you'll see my first mishap. Fortunately, I was able to work with it, but I did have to make a design change. I actually like the way it turned out.
Holy cow. Oh yeah, carnage.
For the most part, I use the Easy Wood line of tools. I don't have any affiliation with them, but they tend to be very forgiving if you slip. In this case, I was trying to use a more traditional turning tool. I don't have much experience with them, and will occasionally try it on a piece where I don't think I'll be in danger of making a mistake. And very quickly, I will make my second mistake.
Oh, how bad? Whew. Tailstock wasn't in far enough. Tool rest wasn't in far enough. Whew, that could have been bad.
That, thankfully, did absolutely nothing. I didn't have the tool rest over far enough. Fortunately, there was no damage done as I was cutting the bottom lip I'll be using to hold the vessel while I attached the top section. After this, I took a few minutes, said a small prayer that nothing was damaged except for my nerves. I'm applying a generous amount of glue before fitting the top to the base. The fit is perfect, but I'll need to wait for it to dry before I can complete the contouring and get to sanding. After working up through 600 grit sandpaper, a little denatured alcohol helps raise the fibers in the wood. A second pass with 600 grit, and I'm ready to apply sanding sealer and lacquer. Every project is an opportunity to learn something. In this project, I learned that design changes can happen for any time and for any reason. If you're in the middle of a project and don't like the way things are turning out, maybe you should step back. It might be just what your project needs. Thanks again for watching this episode of Bighorn Woodworks.